Hi guys, and welcome back to another DrAce video, and today we're going to be playing MotoGP 24, and it is time for a very wet and rainy Circuit of the Americas for round 3 of our MotoGP 24 career mode. But ladies and gentlemen, do not fear, because we will start from pole position. The only man in practice and qualifying to reach the coveted 2-minute 15 lap time. Ladies and gentlemen, let's crack on. So here we go then, from the best position in the house. This is pole position, and we will wait for... Oh, that was a fast red light disappear. Those tyre for Osato is out like a shot. Goodness me, what a start from Osato. There's a couple of riders there on the left-hand side. Looks like it's David Alonso. Can't quite get the whole shot, unlike the Japanese rider. In fact, it's a Japanese 1-2. Suzuki second, and Osato in the lead comfortably already within a couple of corners. So this is the first wet weather race we've done. I've had only one wet weather practice, and that was in the Chang International Circuit in the qualifying in the debut season. So this could be a challenging one. I've had to increase the traction control. I don't know if I can reduce it. I had a very brief moment a moment ago where I just tried it with TCS1. It didn't feel too comfortable, so change it to TCS2, and I tell you what, it is beginning to feel much better. It feels almost as good as it does with TCS1 in the dry. Maybe not quite as comfortable, but feels alright nonetheless. So we're in now striking range of getting the slipstream against the number 72. But look at the speed he pulled out us there. The Honda is impeccable when it comes down to the straight line speeds. Really fast, much better than the KTM, Husqvarna, or even CF Moto. They have that absolutely nailed, like they do in real life here in Moto 3. So breaking down at the very difficult and treacherous turn 12, we managed to get it right, but Taya Furusato is pulling away. 0.8 of a second already found by the Japanese. We're in a bit of a Japanese sandwich here right now, actually. We've got Taya Furusato at 0.8, and then Suzuki behind us. He's 0.3. I've ran it a bit deep there for turn 15. Oh, we are going to see the up inside of the Husqvarna. I thought it was coming. I know they were quite fond of that overtake as well in the previous MotoGP game, but right now for MotoGP 24, I guess I left the door open, and Suzuki took advantage, and the same can be said again for the next right-hander as well. Can I fight back here though into the left-hand side? This is the penultimate corner. This is turn 19. Really close to exceeding track limits there. Got to be careful though, because of course a long race like this in a circuit where it's extremely easy to cut wide or cut the apex, cut the corners into the next couple of corners. That first sector can be absolutely diabolical when you're in the wet conditions. Onto the brakes, and Suzuki's got the inside line. Got to give him the space, but I'll go for the cutback up on the inside. The BOE Motorsports KTM versus the Liqui Moly Intact Teams Husqvarna. It's all brewing up here for actually a pretty decent battle for this second place on the rostrum. So into the tight apex of the left-hander for 3. Now into the right for 4. Back across to the left for 5. And once again, we change direction into turn 6. And once again, Taya Furusato is extremely fast. I know everyone's been talking about this in the MotoGP Discord server, even in my Discord server, even in the comment section down below. You guys have been talking how fast Furusato is in this game. But don't forget, he is quite decent and quite nippy in real life. He's had some good results so far this season, so it's not too completely unrealistic. I don't think it's indicative of his complete performance as we run it deep there for turn 11. I would probably assume now that is now impossible to catch up to Furusato. That is the problem when you've had no wet weather practice. Every single session was dry. From the practice to the free practices to the qualifying, everything was dry. If I'd known this was wet... In fact, no, there's not even a warm-up now in Moto 3, is there? So I couldn't even warm up even if I wanted to. This is a tough situation for us to be in. Good news is that we're even at this position we're in right now, we still will hold the Moto 3 World Championship lead. And considering this is our first experience in the wet, I am a little bit concerned for that middle part of the race. We're all right for now. The early stages is not too bad. The AI aren't particularly fast, but when they get to that middle part, that's when they start to really chuck in those fast lap times. So we've got to stay on our toes here. It's not going to be easy in our first splash in the wet here in the MotoGP 24 career mode. Very tight to the apex. In fact, that's too tight, and that is a track limit warning for your World Championship leader. Must be careful here in this circuit. It's so easy to go off the track here. It's a big track, it's wide, but it's those change of directions as seen earlier on. 0.4 of a second quicker was for Asata, which is not bad considering, because we actually made 2 mistakes on that lap, so maybe we could actually get quicker than the number 72. But he's so good on that Honda. Whoa, a little bit wide there coming out of turn 2. Oh, excuse me, turn 1. So this is turn 2, of course. And here comes Tatsuki Suzuki. Will he have a pop at me around this change of direction? I don't think he will, because we're quite fast around this part. The AI always seem to be a little bit slower around the first split of COTA. Maybe towards the middle part of the track they do improve, and then the final sector they are by far the superior version of themselves. But in this very treacherous conditions, of course, don't forget, guys, if you are enjoying the video, don't forget to subscribe. And alternatively, you can join the DrAce Discord server as well if you want to be part of the community. Talk a lot about MotoGP and everything in general in there. As long as it's motorcycle related, we discuss it. Now into the left-hander for turn 11. Now I'm keen to see the difference in the delta. Look at that gap difference. Of course, a little bit misleading because we did run it deep, so going into the tight apex does mean we found half a second. So yeah, regarding the last lap, when we made that slight error, we would have had a faster lap than young Tayo. Now onto the brakes for turn 12. Keep it in tight to the apex if you can, and just be really gentle on the throttle. You see the BOE Motorsports KTM just sort of getting a little bit loose coming out of turn 12. Got to be really careful on the throttle. This is the problem area for turn 14. I was absolutely rapid in here in the qualifying in the dry conditions. Oh, and here comes Suzuki. Tatsuki-san feinted the lunge into turn 15. He didn't quite commit, so I'm pleased with that. That's certainly the benefit of MotoGP 25's artificial intelligence. Now, when they go for a lunge, doesn't necessarily mean they have to fully commit. If you're still very much centered in the apex, they tend to pull off, and that, honestly, is one of the best features they've added into MotoGP. MotoGP 23, they just would have gone full punt. They wouldn't have cared one iota. So, across the line, Suzuki, fastest man on track. We then set a 1:27.4. We're not catching up to Tayo-san, are we? Oh, here comes Tatsuki then. Does he go around the outside? I don't think so. Braking firm, braking calmly, braking cool. That's a beautiful apex for turn 1. That's a really clean apex. Suzuki, because of that moment, has gone wide ever so slightly. This is going to be an absolute defence job, isn't it? In the first race in the wet, we're going to have to go full defence. I can already predict that. I can foresee it at the early stage of this American GP. The GP of the Americas. MotoGP stewards back up again. Joshua Watley from the Michael Laverty Racing team once again. Seem to be getting warnings every single time I open my mouth to record a video. I swear to God, no matter which career mode race I've done, I swear they have been given penalties, both himself and his teammate Scott Ogden. Now that gap has just come down to 1.6 here. Now the feeling of the motorcycle is improving on each and every single lap. It does begin to feel like I'm just fine-tuning my fingers and thumbs to really understand how to move the KTM in these treacherous conditions. And the gap has come down. Colin Vire is your fastest man on track, though. He's down in 6th place. As it stands, we would currently have 11 points of a championship lead ahead of our objective to beat our rival, Colin Vire. Now, at the same time, this is a very important race here because Colin Vire is our objective, and this is the last round that we need to finish ahead of Colin Vire. He got the better of me in Qatar. We dominated in Portimao, and then here, this one looks to be quite a close one. But the goal and the objective is just to finish ahead of him in the championship standings. We don't need to finish 25 points or 1 point. We just have to be higher than him in the championship standings at the conclusion of the America's GP. Now, I'm going to say it again here. We are closing in, aren't we? The gap has come down to 1.6. 1.5 it was temporarily as we went into turn 20. Now on to the power and across the line. It is a new fastest lap of the race. It's a 1:26.9 for us on screen right now. This might not be over. This might not be over. 1.9 is the gap. We go for that beautiful tight apex of turn 1 again, and that gap, of course, does oscillate ever so slightly between 1.6 and 2 seconds. But this sector here, going into turn 3, turn 4, turn 5, this could be the moment where we close in quite a lot. Bit tight there to the apex again, and tight again for turn 5. Into the right-hander, the gap is coming down. It's now down to 1.6. It's more or less the same as it was when we crossed the line. Our gap is on the delta is still pretty solid nonetheless. 1:26.9 as we go on to the left-hand side of the tyre there. Boazri's just been given a warning. Something's happened to the teammate of Taya Furusato on the Honda Asia team. So onto the brakes. 1.5 is the gap. I think this is coming down. Taya Furusato in the point where you would expect the AI to be their strongest is faltering ever so slightly. It's going to take some hell of an effort, because we're not taking that big of a chunks away from it. It's going to be a 10th or 2 at most. It's going to take quite a lot of laps to get this done. But we have the time. It's just all about playing it the right way. Can't get greedy, can't get desperate. Just keep chipping away at it. Just keep mining away until that diamond pops. Delta looks good again though. It's still in the green. As long as that Delta stays in the green, I can't see why we can't catch him. Onto the brakes nice and early for 15. The pressure's on here for young Tayo. I'm a 29-year-old man. I'm experienced. I'm confident in these moments. I can put the pressure on. But how does young Tayo do it? Delta's still looking very close. I wonder if we're actually going to improve again here. We might, you know. I certainly hope we do. I think, yeah, looking at it, you know what? If we get this right here into the final corner, we could actually... Oh, I braked a little bit earlier, but onto the power. This is going to be very close again. The gap is still 1.7. We did slip back into the 2 minute 27s again, though, unfortunately. So, can we beat the man who won the Asian Talent Cup back in 2021? Oh, that's deep. That is deep. That is going to cost me time, isn't it? I can't afford to make any mistakes, even if I lose a 10th. Oh, here comes Suzuki. I do not need you right now getting onto the back tyre and start causing havoc. So Tatsuki-san, keep your Pirelli tyres behind me and we'll finish this race together. Where is the button to tap the rear of the seat unit to say, look pal, I'm on a charge here. Get behind me, we'll work together. That's classic Moto3. That's something that definitely needs to be in there. Look at that gap. It's down to 1.3, or at least it was a moment ago. Ooh, a track limit warning there for me. Metaphorical slap on the wrist for the number 47. 1.3 is the gap. This is coming down. We get that to within a second, then it's the opposite of breaking the resolve of the rider. It is then putting that pressure on the 19-year-old ahead of us. We're charging now for the sophomore in Moto3. Taya Furusato is 1.4 ahead of us. I tell you what, if we can get up to Tayo and then get through, I'd have to put this down as one of the best races I've had. Not had many in MotoGP 24, but it's up there. Thank goodness the wet weather conditions in this game are better. In MotoGP 23, it was a hit and miss. More times than not, the AI would just dominate. And simply because of the physics difference from the player to the AI, so it's a lot better this year around. Gap has just creeped up to 1.6. We're not actually losing time here, but I tell you something I didn't see, and that's that a certain man behind me was actually quicker than me. I was talking about hitting the tail unit from me to him. It probably should have been the other way around. Tatsuki just had a 2-minute 26.8. Yeah, he's quicker. And I think on this lap, I'm actually holding him up as well. Ooh, yellow flag's out somewhere in Sector 4. Someone's binned it somewhere. Someone sent it to the scenery, it seems. But across the line, we are... Oh, it's Holgado. Holgado's gone again. And that was one of our slower lap times for a while there. So I think the battle to Furusato is coming to its conclusion. I don't want to follow Tatsuki Suzuki. I want to be the one to lead this charge up to the young Japanese rider. But I think now it's going to be useless. 2.5 is the gap. Here comes Suzuki then. Oh, he touched the apex. Oh, you didn't. You didn't. You didn't. Oh, you've ruined it. That's it. Tatsuki-san, why? I could have done that too, though, I guess. I could have hit the apex. It's so easy to do in this game. Oh, no. The gap is up to 4 seconds. Oh. Yeah, well, we're not catching him now. I was barely taking a tenth or two away from him. Now it's impossible. Tatsuki, why? He didn't need to go for that lunge then. He really didn't. I mean, he almost made it stick. If he didn't touch the curb, then the bike wouldn't have sat up and he wouldn't have hit me. So I can't be mad at him there for that. Certainly no warning or penalties came up on the screen, so I don't think anyone's in trouble. David Alonso behind us has just been given a track limit warning. He's 1.8 seconds behind us, so I'm not too concerned about that, but it all depends what lap times the artificial intelligence start chucking in now. Are they going to get significantly quicker as I've made a mistake here into turn 12? Oh, it's all coming undone. It's unravelling as Chabi Zuratuza has gone down. The 85 has binned it, and I think that was also the dreaded, revered and feared turn 12. I actually don't dislike turn 12. I think it's a good corner, but I imagine there's a lot of people who don't like it. 5 seconds is that gap to Furusato. He must be thanking his lucky stars. He, for the very first time, could be a Moto3 Grand Prix winner at a World Championship level. Fair play to the young man, fair play. He was absolutely stunning. 5 seconds it is. But then again, correct me if I'm wrong, I don't think he was that all calm and collected in Portimao, was he? He binned it in there, right? I think he did. I think he did, didn't he? So, who knows? Who knows? I don't want to wishfully think that anyone's going to crash that favours us, but if it's going to keep the race interesting, then go ahead. But to be honest, I think I should probably stop looking forwards now and look behind. There's a very... Oh, wow, I didn't see Tayo Furusato, 2 minute 26.7. Yeah, he's got this covered. He definitely has. That's a ridiculously fast lap time. But I'm a little bit concerned about the rider behind us. David Alonso, even in the fastest sector there for me, is less than a second behind us. I think this race is going to get very interesting in a minute. We only have 5.5 laps remaining, but I think these next 5.5 laps are going to be something to remember, because the gap is coming down and it doesn't favour me, but it might favour the viewers, so I can't be mad at that. Onto the brakes then, turn 11 it is, tight to the apex, and then back on to the power. Tucked right in behind the bubble of the KTM, and the gap is 1.1. I'm very much... Oh, I think Alonso's bringing Kelso with him as well. You know he wants revenge. He wanted to rub our noses into the performance that we had in Qatar. Of course, the battle with Joel Kelso against his former team was certainly one to be remembered in the Qatar GP. 5.3 is the gap to Furusato, so my eyes fixated in the wet conditions, but also can't help to see Alonso's 1 second disadvantage. Now, was that his third track limit warning on this lap? He needs to be careful, because if he's not careful, he's going to receive a penalty, which will result in a long lap penalty. And of course, if he doesn't take that, that's then 3 seconds penalty added to his race time. We're going to keep an eye on Alonso. If he makes one or too many more mistakes, then it's a penalty for him, but I'm more concerned about the fact that the gap has come down again. It's 7 tenths. This is looking bleak. I'm getting a little bit concerned here. Cross the line, we said a 129, a 227.508, so it's not that slow, but we are losing half a second to the lap times we were producing earlier in the race. Oh, this is going to get harder, and I think it's going to get harder and harder due to the tyre wear as well. Each and every lap we burn that rubber, the Pirelli tyres are then going to get even more difficult to handle. Oh, that gap is down to 2 tenths. Where am I losing so much time? Alonso's coming. He is charging. You know how fast he was in real life here. Oh, and in fact, I've already seen it on the left-hand side of the screen, and now on the right, David Alonso, long lap penalty. He's flummoxed it. All that effort to catch up to me, and he's done that. Teammate David Munoz with a track limit warning there as well somewhere. So, where will Alonso go for the long lap penalty? Will he go from this lap? Is he going to hold it back for a bit? I think the smart thing to do would be for him, because he's a lot quicker than me right now, get the job done, get past, churn out 1 or 2 laps, and then jump into the long lap penalty on the penultimate lap. That's probably what my method would be. Whether that's the right method remains to be seen, and it also remains to be seen to see what David Alonso will do. Let me know in the comments section down below what you would do in a situation where you've been given a long lap penalty when you're in pursuit of the rider that you are significantly quicker than. In fact, there he goes. He goes for the lunge already. Pretty much what I predicted. He'd get through, start churning out the lap times. Ignore me, he's gone for the long lap penalty. You never mind. He's doing it a different method, but he still made that lunge. And I tell you, as also took advantage, Joel Kelso. Kelso through now into the latter stage of lap number 9. Ooh, a little bit closer to Joel, giving me a little love tap. He gives it back. It's battle, it's game on here in COTA. It's the Brit against the Aussie for the second time this season. We had a brief scrap in Portimao, but it didn't last very long. It's game on. Whoa! Kelso round the outside, that's magnificent. That is an overtake and a half. Brave as well for the number 66. Going to try and get through here. Might have to use him as a bit of an angle. Thank you very much, Joel, but he will have the speed. And oh, look at this. Look at this. Colin Vire. Why does he always turn up when we don't need him? Look, we're having a good race here, Colin. Just back off. We're racing here, mate. Don't take my championship lead, please. That's going to affect my chances of getting improvements for the summer break. Now into the left-hander. Colin Vire still looking dominant. He's been able to get through us pretty quickly there, but I'm going to fight back into the apex of turn 2. We're back on through. Like the doors, break on through to the other side. We went through and we took over that second position. So David Alonso, after took his long lap penalty, he's down to 7th, behind former teammate Joel Esteban. And then Joel Kelso ahead of him as well. Stefano Nepper up to 4th on board the MTA Angelus team. On the KTM, of course. So Colin Vire, 0.3 of a second behind us. I think it could be quite the scrap now. And also, if Nepper's through on Kelso already, that must mean that that's quite a bunch of riders all attacking me for second place. Here comes Vire. That's a late lunge. Clean enough for me, though. I can't be annoyed at that. Nicely done from Colin. But I should have the slipstream to get through on his RC250. Here we go then. Around the outside. Job done, but is he going to be better than me on the brakes? Look for that white line there and hit the anchors. Braking nice and early, bringing it into the tight apex. Clean, very, very clean that. Good defensive positioning as well to avoid the number 95, to get on through and to start putting the pressure on. The last place I want to lose the lead, or lose the second place, or rear tyres slipping and sliding, is anywhere in the 4th sector. It's my weakest point. Here is sector 3's conclusion, and then from here is sector 4. So if he gets through here, that's going to put me on the back foot. Lap 10 is about to come to conclusion for Tayo Furusata. That would mean only 3 laps remaining of sheer excitement, no doubt, splashing our way to a podium here in COTA. Look at Vire. Oh, he was sliding. The RC250 is not meant to move like that in the wet conditions. Steady on Colin Vire. 26.5 is now tyre for Rosati. He is ridiculous. Danny Algardo having a shocking time on that Husqvarna, isn't he? Completely out of this one. Seen him crash out earlier on, of course. Nice and tight to the apex of turn 1. That's a very solid apex, that. Again, defensive positions to stop the AI from attacking, but I can't stop Colin Vire. He's got through and he's lost the front. Oh, Colin Vire's binned it. Was that my fault? Did I touch his rear tyre? I mean, he did sort of drift in front of our positioning there. I don't think that was truly my fault. But that is an unfortunate error, and I really hate the fact that that old Ride 5 sort of collision is still in this game. That very slight tap to the front sends the rider down at the front who's won the rear tyre, which is, of course, the stronger tyre. It never makes sense to me, that, but I guess I'm lucky there, because Colin Vire could have definitely taken me out, and then I would have been rather bemused, to say the least. So lap 11, another rider to go through, and another rider to crash out. Bit similar to Colin Vire in real life in COTA, of course. Got hit 3 times before crashing out himself on the next couple of laps. What a race for Colin Vire it was in COTA, though, nonetheless. But wow, what a race this has been so far. 0.2 of a second is the gap to Joel Kelso. Can we hold on to this coveted second place? Gap is coming down to a couple of tenths. I really don't like that long straight for the medium Pirelli front. The SC2 gets really cold across that long straight. I don't think it does it anywhere else but there. So when you do get onto the hard parts of the brakes, it's a bit concerning to then want to turn in when your front tyre's that cold. Can't really trail brake that much into turn 12 when your tyre's that cold. It really can't. It's freezing almost. I mean, the conditions here are very wet and very cold, damp, and it's going to be a really tough job here for the riders with the tyres. And it's going to be really tough for me now to defend against Joel Kelso. Remember what I said about Sector 4. I've got to stay ahead. I cannot afford to lose that position. Oh, don't go wide now. Do not go wide now, as I've just said that. Come on. Keep it together, Matt. Keep it together. We can still do this as Joel Kelso goes through. This is not materialising how I wanted it to. He did get through into Sector 4, but it was the final corner, so I might be alright with that because we have the speed with the gas. BOE Motorsports KTM back up to second in the form of the 47. Look at that defensive line. I can't defend any better than that. Unless Joel goes round the outside, I don't think there's anything you can do about that. Oh, fair enough. Fair enough, Joel. He's through. Kelso's up to second. But surely we can fight back now. This is my strongest sector. I will get that position back. Oh, that's a track limit warning. Careful. He's going to run it a little bit deep here. I can go for the inside apex. Yes. Make it stick. Make it stick. Come on. He's going to have the inside line here, though. Ah, I braved it. I knew he was going to go for the lunge, but I just tried to close the door. Job done so far. But who's this bringing behind us? Because we're losing a dramatic amount of time on the Delta. We're like 0.8 of a second down here. So Stefano Nepa, Esteban, Suzuki, Alonso, they're probably up. Suzuki? How's he got back up and got into the top 6 already? That's unbelievable. Next we're going to see Colin Vire. We are going to see Colin Vire. He's there at 8th. Are we just miles ahead of everyone else? Oh man. This is going to be pressure. This is going to be pressure. More warnings coming in. Joel Esteban's giving another warning. What is going on to Esteban? He must be close to his track limit warnings now, surely. So onto the brakes. Again, freezing cold. Oh, I don't like this. I don't like how cold that front tyre goes because now we go into the really important trail braking corners. Turn 13 a moment ago. Turn 14, now into turn 15, where you've got to really rely and trust that front SC2. Whatever the wet version of the SC2 is, I can't remember. But I think it's still very much the medium SC2 compound nonetheless, it's just with the grooves in it. Joel Kelso's coming. Is this going to be another photo finish, but this time for second? It's certainly adding the pressure on as we almost begin the final lap. The penultimate lap is certainly not disappointed as Kelso's coming again. Really piling the pressure on. Up front, Tayo Forasata's having a pretty nice ride in the rain. I don't think he cares too much. He's already going into turn 1. And this is it. Penultimate lap concluded. Lap times are terrible. Let's just go for it. Are you ready to see the defence job of a season? Because it's going to happen. Onto the brakes then for turn 1. Keep it in tight. Do not let Kelso get through. Objective 1 completed. Can we achieve objective 2? Ooh, we can just about. We've only got, what, 18 more corners to go? 18 more objectives to complete? We can do this. We definitely can. Keep it tight. Don't cut that corner. Oh, it did. I am 1 trial warning away from a long lap penalty. I cannot afford to make another silly mistake like that. Alternatively, we are on a good lap here. The delta was green momentarily. Stefano Nepa, Suzuki, Esteban. They must be close. They must be ready to pounce on whomever gets through on whom. If Kelso comes through and I have to fight back, that's going to bring them straight back into it. Good braking into turn 11. Really calm and collected this time around. Feel nervous, but I got that right. I really got that right. Here it comes then. The long straight. The overtaking paradise for a Moto3 machine. And Joel Esteban's long lap penalty has arisen. It is there. It's come to fruition. Penalty for the number 78. Hard on the brakes then. This is the final time we go into the dreaded turn 12. Little bit wide, but it should be okay. I seen a pink bike there. Nepa's in there somewhere. Please do not overtake me now. I've been defending so well up until this point. Can we hold on? Just a little bit more. Good braking into turn 15. I still don't see a rider behind. We might have done this. We might have just secured it. What a fight for second. Another defensive masterclass, but it's not quite over yet. That gap is still deteriorating. It's down to 1 point. Oh, it's gone up to 2/10. Maybe we're all right, you know. We might be all right. Oh, here comes Kelso. He's coming back. Forasata wins here in COTA, but I'm going to move to the middle of the track. Keep it tight. And I think we've done it. Get on the power. Get on that power. Get across the line. See the checkered flag and take a valiant second place. Stefano Nepa in the background there, just finished in 4th. But goodness me, he was close at the end there. He was close. Wow. That was a great race. That was one of the best races I've had in the wet in MotoGP games in quite a while. Fantastic. Save that screenshot. I'll need that for the future. So Forasata wins, myself in 2nd and Kelso 3rd. How does that impact the championship? Well, it's good for us. 12 points clear from Colin Vire, who binned it and remounted to finish in the top 8. Tatsuki Suzuki also did the same, and he's down to 5th. But Forasata's victory puts him up there quite high, doesn't it? So I will leave you now with the Teams Championship. Thank you very much for watching the video. I certainly hope you enjoyed. If you did, let me know in the comments section down below, and I'll see you in tomorrow's video. Ciao for now. Oh hi, didn't quite see you there. Good to see you're still here. If this video didn't quite set your appetite, then why not watch some more DrAce content by clicking the video shown on screen now. Furthermore, if you would like to follow me on social media, you can do so now with the links down in the description. Consider subscribing so you don't miss a single DrAce video.